Hello, and welcome to Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express. Now, Wong Kar-wai, for my money, is one of the most exciting filmmakers that has come out since I've personally been making films. He was doing this epic swordsman film called Ashes of Time. It stars basically every star in all the Hong Kong lexicon. What happened is, he's doing this big epic, it's taking forever, and then he starts editing it, and editing it's taking him forever, and it's just going on and on and on. And finally, he says, I can't see anything anymore. All I see is this big epic film I'm doing. And to kind of shake away the cobwebs, all right, he came up with an idea for Chungking Express.
Later on, I make a film, the Chungking Express, in Chungking Mansion, because that's the area that I grown up. The original idea of this film is, it is two-parted. One part is showing the day of Hong Kong, and one part is showing the night of Hong Kong. I want to make a film about where I live, and where I grew up, and what is very close to me. Chris, at that point, moved to Hong Kong. He stayed in Central.
Oh my God, not you. Well, anyway, welcome anyway. This is where I live. In the film, this is basically where Tony Leung lives. And when he was not home, Fei Wong, who is like working in Midnight Express, she'd break in every day to see what this boy that she'd fallen in love with was really doing in his life.
The space is what Wong Kar-wai creates. The space is my job to light. The space is the feng shui, which means, the give and take between a space and a person. I think it's a dance between people and space. The words are just, they're the notes. The great pleasure of all the films we've made together is the actors are there for us, not for themselves.
Basically, we make this film just like the student films. We don't have time to set up, like big setup. We just shoot, just like, at that point, we call ourselves CNN. We just do it like CNN, just bring the camera and shoot it without permit, and we even get caught because we shot in the subway without any license.
同埋我記得我嗰陣時係拍我做一個差人㗎嘛。咁咧，你嗰啲制服咧，你要攞咗 permit 先可以喺個街度行。咁我哋嗰陣時冇攞 permit，所以一見到警察咧，我哋就要揾大褸遮住。
So every day is like planning a robbery.
Most of the films today is you have the script first, and then you cast someone to play that characters.
Over the years, as a fellow filmmaker, I don't know whether I turn my admiration to him into jealousy, or turn jealousy into admiration.
In a way, the best way to work with an actor or actress is to customize the role for him, because you can borrow something from that person. Then the experience or the performance will be unique.
I want to do those cool things. How come I don't get to do those cool things? Going out shooting with big movie stars without a script.
The night before shooting, I'm still working on the script because I keep changing it. And I said, well, I wake up in the morning and I have 2 hours I can do all these short lists. And then I wake up like half an hour before the shoot. So I go to, it's total panic.
No, I don't feel like shooting today. Let's just go on.
I think for most of the directors, the dream is to wake up in the morning and have a perfect script there. But it never happened to me.
Shooting for weeks, months, years, and then throw it away and start over again.
I have my logic, because
Because it's always better to work with a clean canvas. But the thing is, you need to have enough craftsmanship to be able to work with something blank.
Putting some of the most astonishing images and metaphors and beautiful romantic acting scenes together, and when it doesn't make sense, I just throw in some dreamy dialogue, dreamy monologue, and beautiful music, and it'll be brilliant.
I believe to directors, it's very important you have at least the skill or the craft to be able to write the script, because at certain points you won't be restricted because you know how to make certain changes. Because I don't think films can be made just like one by one according to the script. Otherwise, we just make a novels.
I wish I could do that. I wish I could wear those sunglasses at night.
You have so many different options when you have so many different endings. The story can be told in different ways because I have all this in my mind already. But I don't want to commit to certain way to tell the story because I want to see how the story should go. It's a very organic process, which I prefer. Maybe not the best way to make films, but this is the way that I know best.
The films we made at a certain period, the 80s, 90s, wouldn't be this way if it wasn't for the space in which they were made. And our space is a neon space, it's a light space, it's a space of energy that is electric, it's the way people move, it's the energy of Hong Kong, it's the excitement of the encounters on the street. So in my films, when I shoot a sky, it's never black. Why would it be black? There's always ambience. It might be fog, it might be clouds. To me, the light of a city is city light reflected, which means neon light reflected off the clouds, which give a color to the sky.
I think I would consider myself influenced by the East traditions more than the West. Maybe my films looks more westernized than other Chinese cinemas, Chinese filmmakers, but I think in the heart it is quite Eastern thinking.
The thing that you should understand about Wong Kar-wai's style and what makes it different from the majority of films coming out of Hong Kong is almost all the Hong Kong films are either like wild, crazy comedies, wild, crazy fantasy films that you know have a very Sam Raimi kind of style, and then like what's become the John Woo, Ringo Lam, action films. All right, well, Wong Kar-wai has all that same energy that this Hong Kong tends to bring to its cinema. But he's also taking a cue from the French New Wave films of the late 50s, early 60s. In particular, Godard is his man. The film, his style, his kind of sense of fun is what he brings to the film. I gotta tell you, it's just very different in looking at Asian cinema to see the mix of French New Wave inside of that.
I think he enchanted us with most romantic and beautiful mystic mood. And the 90s Hong Kong specific drifting, cut off, elusive sensation, I think he created a mental space for us.
Well, I think a lot of people think, well, the film is beautiful, your visual is beautiful, and you must pay a lot of attention on these things. But in fact, it's not true.
We actually see very monochrome because he's always wearing his sunglasses. I mean, things seem to kind of dilute, the colors a bit. Also, because I made some mistakes in the printing. So. We've made films that had a certain budget, and it was actually often stealing the neon light. It was often using the ambient light, which is very soft and non-directional, and has a certain quality and a certain beauty, especially if a woman walks through it, or if someone is silhouetted in neon light, is extremely beautiful.
Some of our style actually came from theirs, like a lot of handhelds, and we shoot with the step printing. When you are shooting with existing light and you don't have a lot of light sources, the only way you have to shoot it with a fast speed of negative, and then you have to turn your shutter speeds from 24 frames. Normally it's 24 frames per second, which is slow it down to 12 frames. That means it allows the exposure longer, and so we can deal with these situations. But later on, we use it organically, and it become our style. He put 3 filters in front of the lenses, so it's always have problems in focus.
We may have made a mistake, but we stuck with it. And that you don't get every day. I don't think you get that in Hollywood. That's why we're not going.
It's not only an aesthetic decision. Sometimes it is a practical solutions to solve your problems. And one of the job of a director is you have to solve problems.